friends, welcome back to the vlog. Today we are doing quarterly planning. If you don't know, I like to plan out quarters in two specific ways and for two specific reasons. First, I plan them out in my bullet journal, but I also plan out the months at the same time as I plan the quarter. So I'll plan out in my journal like what the quarter is going to look like, and then I'll take time and really do a more detailed planning of the month. And we'll walk through all the steps that I do for that. But I do that, and then I do this for a couple of reasons. One, because I love a plan. I love to know where I'm going, why I'm going there. I like to take the incremental time to really reflect on what's working, what's not working, what I want, how I'm feeling. The idea that like at the beginning of the year, I know where I'm gonna be in November, I think is unrealistic, right? Like January me is so different than November me. And I want to do a recheck-in, just see kind of how I'm feeling, set new goals. The reason that I like to do this quarterly is because I really think it's the sweet spot. 3 months I think is a really good window for actually having the pressure in terms of time to take action, right? If I plan something out in January, I can procrastinate on that thing until December, right? And then maybe I don't do it and I lose zeal for it. But if I plan it out, okay, we have 3 months to do this, then I have time to do it like I wouldn't have if I gave myself a month. But I also have the pressure of the time in order to make it happen. So I think it's a sweet spot. The other thing that I do that's kind of weird, and I'm just doing this year for the first time, is instead of planning out by fiscal quarters, which would be like January, February, March, I'm planning out by season. So right now I'm looking at my winter, and I'm defining winter fluidly. So for me, winter is December, January, February. And then, so all of that's going to go into this one notebook. Now, typically I've been using these notebooks that I get off of Amazon. They're kind of a dream, honestly, maybe the perfect notebook, but I was just wanting to switch it up. So I think for at least winter, maybe all year next year, I'm going to move to a soft cover Moleskine. We'll see how I like it. It has a ton of pages. Yeah, I'm just interested to see if I like it. It feels more casual maybe, but yeah, I'm gonna sit down, and the first thing I wanna do is draw up my bullet journal spreads. Now, I will absolutely show these to you, but I'm gonna just speed through the drawing process, and I'll do a flip through at the end because I think that's gonna be more time effective. So yeah, I'm gonna break open my new journal and go ahead and get started on drawing up my reflection spreads. I've drawn one page, and I don't know if I like this notebook. It's like already bleeding through. Look, it's already bleeding through. My markers kind of like don't work on it. Like it doesn't like do well with my markers, and the paper's kind of like a yellow shade, which is just throwing me off. The notebooks I normally use are perfect. They're the perfect book. I think there's like a part of me that doesn't want to be attached to one kind of notebook because I know it's probably going to go out soon or one day. Like they're going to just stop making it because it's just a random brand on Amazon. And Moleskines have been around forever. Leuchtturms have been around forever. But they figured everything out. Here's what I like. This one is like thick pages, like the pages are sturdy versus this page. See that you can see the difference. They don't bleed through. There's a nice pocket in the back where you can like put stuff. It comes with stencils, which I never use, but that's cool. It has 2 ribbons, so you can mark 2 places, and it has a pin holder. Like, it has everything I could ever dream of. I don't know why I was thinking about switching, but already this one I can just tell, like, is not my future. This is not in my future. Maybe I'll make it through winter, but I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical. Okay, we're gonna do flip through of the bullet journal. I've been doodling away. I can officially say this notebook is not the one. I think I might make it through winter with it, but emphasis on think. I might. Think and might. So I will show you the spreads that I drew for winter quarterly planning and just kind of my December spread. Is this my favorite one I've ever done? No. I always I should probably take multiple days to draw out these spreads, because I get when I pull ideas, a lot of times I'll be like, okay, I want to do a drawing heavy one and make it really pretty, but then when I get down to it, I'm like, oh, I want to knock this out as fast as possible. So I kind of end up getting simpler and simpler as we go. I don't do that as much with collages because I don't know, it just takes it's less detail oriented. So I think maybe for January I'll do a little every day instead of trying to do it all in one sitting. Plus, I think it's kind of a lot to draw it out and then reflect on it and then do all that other stuff. Maybe that's a bit ambitious to do all at one time, just because, or maybe this is the wrong setting, because used to I would go camp out at a coffee shop, or sometimes I'll get a hotel room to do this, and that's nice. I'm at the office right now and I just feel a little rushed. I'm in a conference room. I feel like I'm taking up the conference room, so I feel a little bit rushed, but that's okay. Here is the spread. I'll do it from above. We'll flip you around. So here we go. Look, this is just my winter opening. I liked the quote, "Winter is a season of recovery and preparation." I glued these 2 pages together just to make it a little bit thicker. And then this is my book list. These are books I've read this year so far. I highlighted my favorite from each month. I usually do date, title, rating. And then there's room here for December. I don't know how I'm going to do January and February. I just realized there's definitely not room for January and February here. And then I wrote something on the other page already, so oops. We'll figure that out. This is the 7 dimensions of wellness. I will go through here and go what I want and then how I plan to do that. So what I want it to look like and then how I intend to make it feel that way. This is kind of ideal day, ideal day, ideal week. Vision for the month, for the winter, kind of writing out how I hope the winter will feel. This is where I'll put my major tasks. So major projects for December, major projects for January and February. This is going to be my chakra reading. So I'm going to pull cards and do my reading there. This is my bucket list for the winter. And then I have December opening page here. I glued this one together as well. And then I have my November reflection. So highlights, challenges, money, lessons learned, start and stop. And this is where I'm going to put in photos for memories. December dashboard, my big 3 tasks, core desired feelings, books I want to read, my focus, personal focus for the month, important dates, and just a little calendar to keep track. And then I write 1 highlight from every day throughout the month. So now that that is drawn up, I need to go through and actually fill it out. I find doing these 2 things back to back difficult because it's kind of 2 different parts of my brain. The part of me that's drawing, the part of me that's planning, and the part of me that's reflecting. Those are 3 different energies to me. So I find it kind of difficult. but we're gonna do it. I'm just gonna like push through. I typically will do this the day before, the drawing out, and then do the planning a different day. But I really wanted to just kind of get it all done today. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, so I will sit down and do this, and then I will check back in with you all when I am done and kind of tell you how things are looking. Okay, I'm realizing that I need to take a little break and move environments probably, but I wanted to talk through the things that are showing up so far. So I did the 7 dimensions of wellness, and I went through like emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, career, and environmental, and talked about what I'm craving and then what I plan to do to like make myself feel that way. So emotionally, I'm craving just like stability, commitment, and pleasure. And I want to spend more time like dating myself this month and just like meditating. And then spiritually, I just want to like connect more to my purpose and to myself. So back to dating myself. And then I wrote meditation, but also non-sleep deep rest, which is kind of like yoga nidra, just like resting but not taking naps. And then next was intellectual. I wrote I would like to learn something new. And I'm thinking for the winter I might pick up knitting or crocheting. I used to crochet for a season, so maybe I'll do one of those. I think I'd like to have like a goal of making like one really cool scarf this winter. I think that'd be fun. And then physical, I just want to feel joyful, agile, flexible, and connected to my body. And so to do that, I want to do daily movement, which we'll talk about in a second. And then social, I just put like connected and spacious. Like I don't want to feel obligated to socialize a ton because it is winter, but I also do want to feel like not out of touch with people. So for me, I think what feels nice is just having lunch with a friend at least once a week. Career, I want to feel invigorated and renewed. So just kind of thinking about my future and creative problem solving, thinking of like new ways to feel connected to the work that I'm doing. And environmental, I want my environment to feel cozy and uplifting. And so I'm going to focus a lot on like candlelight and cleaning, but from the mentality of like I get to versus I have to. I think whenever I used to live alone, cleaning was actually like a joy for me. It was like a thing I really liked, but then I think having a kiddo and a husband, cleaning feels like a chore, like something I have to do, and I like resent it. I think part of that too is not holding myself to like really high standards, but just letting myself clean when I feel like it. My ideal week. So I did over here like work and personal. And for personal, I really just focused on like movement for the day. So on Monday, I do admin work. That still feels good to me. Just kind of getting set up for the week. And then I think movement wise, I put sweat. So that could be resistance training. It could be a HIIT workout. It could be even just like a really long walk. It could be going for a jog, like going on the Peloton, whatever I need to do, just some sort of like an actual like workout, you know, instead of like movement. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I kind of just put like work, meaning like in the throes of it, like editing vlogs, recording and writing podcasts, just doing my day-to-day, like creating graphics, making things. I'm gonna try, because I podcast 5 days a week. I typically write and record every day. But I think what I'm going to try and do this month is just write and record Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I can keep Monday for an admin day. And I'll tell you I want Friday to be in a second. So I'm going to play with that for the month of December. On Tuesday, I play tennis with my husband. On Wednesday, I want to do yoga. I'm usually do yoga every day, but I'm trying to switch that up because I want to integrate different kinds of movement into my workout and not just do yoga. And I find that if I'm doing yoga every morning, that I tend to kind of be like, okay, I've done it. I've moved for the day, and I really want to integrate different types of movement. So that's that. Thursday is sweat. Again, like walk, run, hit, Peloton, something like that. Friday is my CEO day. So that's where I'm like thinking about the future of the business. I'm planning the week out ahead. I'm thinking about, you know, I'm doing like big picture tasks. That's the goal. I hope I can keep it like that. And then for workout is yoga as well. My battery died, sorry. So, so yeah, CEO day on Friday, yoga on that day as well. Saturday, I want to keep like for a fun day. I usually use it as a reset day to just get all of my work done, get all of my like tasks done that I can't do throughout the week. But that's not working for me right now. I need a break from that. So I think Saturday I just want to make fun, whatever that means to me. And then we also play tennis on Saturdays as a fam. And then on Sunday, it's just a full rest day. I'm like only the things that feel restful, which includes my movement for that day being yoga. So that's my ideal week. My ideal day is pretty much staying the same. It's between 6 and 9 doing my morning routine, getting the kiddo ready for school, reading, writing, coffee, all that good stuff, breaking breakfast, and then from 10 to 12 working, 12 p.m. lunch break, working until usually around 4, sometimes later, and then movement between work and dinner, and then around 6 or 7, 6:30 making dinner, eating dinner, and then for the rest of the evening just kind of reading and getting ready for bed. So that's what I've done so far. Real quick, I'm gonna print out my highlights from the month. I brought my Instax printer. This is what I'm using right now. Sometimes I just print on my computer and then glue them in, but right now I'm enjoying my Instax. I got it for Christmas last year. And so I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna move on to content planning for the month of December. So we'll move over to my desk and I'll look at what content I'm making for YouTube, the podcast, Instagram. I'm thinking about really radically changing things up, so I might change my mind. I go on sabbatical in January, so I have time. I'm not gonna do anything wild in December, but February things could change. We'll find out. But for right now, that is the plan. Let me see what else I have down here to do today. Plan out content for December. Plan out season 4 of the podcast. Just kind of how do I want the podcast to look for season 4. And then I wrote print off a cleaning sheet. I'm thinking about doing, instead of doing weekly cleaning sessions, doing something small every day. And I might work on that today. I might not. We'll find out. Okay, here we go. This is a photo of having drinks in Ohio with my friends. This was from our trip to Chicago. This is Obi's first reading. He read a short story at a literary event. And then this is where the photo of my first live book event will go. But I ran out of paper, so I have to do that later. But that is that. That's on that. I'm just finishing up my content planning, and it went really well. I think it was pretty straightforward, honestly, because I'm doing sabbatical and then it's also the holidays. So I'm not really planning anything until February-ish. And I was gonna go to a coffee shop and do the rest of my planning, just to kind of switch up locations. And instead, I've decided to work from here at the co-working space because there's like all these little different seating areas, and it's like really slow right now because it's like after 4, which tends to get pretty quiet, hence why I'm vlogging out loud. I normally would not. So yeah, I think I'm gonna sit out here in this little like cafe area of the co-working. I'll show you. There's like little cafe seats, and then there's like a little bar. So yeah, I think I'm gonna make tea, maybe coffee, and just yeah, sit and finish out my journaling session, and then we'll check back in about how that's going. Okay, so I'm gonna do my chakra reading, and I just wanted to show you, these are the Narrative Alchemy Tarot cards by Chrissy Bentley. Chrissy sent these to me and I am obsessed. I use them every quarter now that they're here. By that I mean I think I've used them twice in that capacity, but then I use them also just for like reflection. But they're not, I don't think they're available for public use yet, but Chrissy has a YouTube channel, so you guys should go check it out, Chrissy Bentley. But I'm gonna do that now, and basically just pulling a card. They're color coded by chakra, so I'm gonna like color code them and then pull a card for each chakra and kind of journal on that. Y'all, look, the community director of the co-work has my books right there on their desk. That's so sweet. I'm feeling like all kinds of feelings right now about my job because I just read my Spotify Wrapped for the podcast, and I just found out that I'm in like the top 1% globally of shared podcasts and top 5% podcasts in the world. That's insane. That's crazy. And then like walked right in here and like saw my books on her desk and was just kind of like, how is this my life? I don't understand. We're gonna reflect on, or we're just gonna run through the rest of the reflections we did. After, when I was in the other room, the reflections that I was doing, where I was writing my vision, and I wanted to revisit my vision for the fall and just kind of see if that felt like how it felt. It says, I am embracing this season in full force. Oh, interesting. Normally when I write a vision, I write it in present tense, but I, for the winter, did not. So that's interesting. So the vision was, this fall, I am embracing the season in full force. I am reading spooky and mystery or mystical novels and cozying up in blankets with the windows open and candles lit. I'm hiking at least once and going for walks and playing tennis every week and getting my love for movement back even in the cool weather. I'm focusing on my book launch and allowing my best to be good enough and release the outcome. I keep my fluidity and allow for imperfection in my daily habits. I declutter so our house feels less messy and overwhelming. So I definitely embraced the season. The books definitely were part of that, like reading really good books. Windows open, I was gone for a lot of that weather where we could have the windows open, so that's a bummer, but I did have the candles lit. I traveled a lot in the fall, which is a sad thing because it's my favorite season in Asheville, or spring is, but fall's my second fave. I did not go hiking. Well, I hiked in Bali, that counts. And we definitely played tennis every week, multiple times a week. And I think I did a good job of focusing on the launch and allowing my best to be good enough. I did not declutter our house. I did do my clothes, but that was about it. So that is my vision for fall, and I think I did it good. My vision for winter is the season I want to embrace hygge, to build a warm and cozy life where joy and comfort are priorities. I want to honor my truth without shrinking it to make others less scared or protect their feelings. I want to fall back in love with life and with myself, to embrace flow. I want to prioritize movement as an act of self-love and see cleaning and cooking as joys versus obligations. I want to give myself time and space to be heard, and I explore what my next chapter will look like. I love that. Yeah, so then I looked at what are my quarterly goals, which I don't really have a lot because December, we're just kind of focusing on the holidays. We have Obi's birthday, we have the kiddo's birthday, we have Christmas, and then New Year's, and like, I'm just trying to like stay afloat, you know, with all of that. The main things that I need to do, I want to finalize my S Corp. I need to just wrap up 2023 projects, and I want to start knitting. I'm also vlogging 2 times a week during the month of December because I'm doing less on the podcast end, so I have a little bit more energy and time, and so I think that would be really fun. And then January, I'm on sabbatical, so the only things on my list are sabbatical, go on a visioning date with myself to plan out the year, to reflect on the past year and all that good stuff, and then to have a daily writing practice while I'm away, which I think would be really nice. And then February, I'm looking into doing an Enneagram cohort. So I want to like start the process on that, like planning out what I think that would look like. I'll probably launch my course Brave Collective in February because it's like a good goal related course. I probably should launch it December or January because everybody's New Year's resolutions, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to do it in February because it's all about like how to manage your time, how to take care of yourself, how to put yourself first when you're thinking about your daily schedule, that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to do season 4 of the podcast, starts in February, and I need to think about what that's going to look like. So those are my goals, my priorities. I did my chakra reading, and it was cut to the quick, like it was intense. There's also a lot of major arcana cards. Like I had Temperance, I had the Star, I had the Chariot, I had the High Priestess, like really big cards, which makes sense because I feel like I'm in a pretty like intense season right now of just kind of like shifting. So that all makes sense. I'm gonna like kind of keep that personal just because it's pretty personal, but it was interesting. And then I looked at my highlights for November. I traveled a lot, so those were basically my highlights, were like book event in Nashville, going to Cincinnati, and going to Chicago. Challenges, I don't think I'm going to share those. The one challenge I will share is just like constant feedback on Instagram. I think that's just been really hard for me, and I'm trying to navigate what that's going to look like for me next year, what Instagram will look like. I don't know that it's the best platform for Enneagram content, and that's a scary thing to acknowledge because that's what I do on Instagram. So I have 2 months to really let myself sit with that feeling. And that's what I'm going to do. Lessons learned, I wrote 3. One, just like letting yourself be in a bad mood. Like typically when I'm in a bad mood or I'm having a bad day, I feel like I need to like move through it quickly. But I learned this month just to kind of let that be okay, let my feelings go. I'm in process of learning how to put adulting tasks into my life, but I did start adding like 1 adulting task per week, like bigger tasks that maybe I would procrastinate on. And so far that's working for me. And the third is just the recognition that we belong to one another, that like as much as I would like to think of myself as like so self-reliant, that actually I like am dependent on a lot of people, especially with my job and marriage. Like that like sense of belonging can actually be a really beautiful thing, and it doesn't have to be as scary as it feels to be reliant on other people. Things I want to start knitting or crocheting. I want to start being direct about how I feel, like not trying to protect other people's feelings. And I want to start romancing myself more because I kind of have fallen off of that lately. I want to stop rescuing people, protecting others, and being bored. Like I think sometimes when I'm home, I can feel like I'm really bored with day-to-day life, and I just want to like stop doing that and like breathe in more fun and play. And my big 3 for the month of December are really just closing out the year, vlogging twice a week, and then integrating in CEO days on Fridays to really think about the future of the business. My core desired feelings for December are cozy, content, and creative. Little C action there. I picked 4 books I want to read. I want to read Call of the Wild, which is like a trauma healing book. I've been doing like seasonal book reading, and it has been a lovely thing for me. I did all mysteries and magical and mystical stories in the fall, and in the winter I'm doing all memoirs and short stories. But in between the genres, I'm reading a nonfiction book because I want to keep reading nonfiction, but I don't want to read as much as I was reading before. So I think that feels nice. Then I'm reading like 4 or 5 a year. So I'm reading Call of the Wild next. And then I have I'm Glad My Mother Died, Liars Club, and Too Much Happiness for the other 3 books for December. And my focus for the month of December is just in like falling back in love with different kinds of movement. I always am good with yoga, that I have down pat. Tennis has been amazing. We've been really consistent about that for months. And I just want to find like one more other way of moving my body that I can be consistent with. I'd love for that to be going on walks, but like I don't think that's gonna be me. So I need to find something else. I thought I would really enjoy like the stair climber. I used to enjoy that when I would go to the gym more regularly before my lung stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna find another fun movement. And then I have my important dates, which you don't really care about probably. Yeah, so that's it on the quarter, y'all. I planned out content, like I said, but there really wasn't that much to plan out. I think for the month of December on Instagram, I'm just gonna do like 3 posts a week instead of like 5. And I think I'm gonna try and practice turning my podcast, clips of my podcast, into reels. And maybe I can like build that habit up for season 4, because I think that would do my podcast good. And then I think I'm going to do like 1 list per week instead of like multiples. And then I'm going to do some other kind of post every week. So that is about that. And yeah, and so I think now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and close out the day. It's like 5:15 now. And I'm going to go grab some stuff for dinner on the way home and just go make some soup, cozy up with my boys, and call it a day. So thank you all so much for joining me for this little quarterly planning session. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed spending this time with you. And if you guys use this as a guide, let me know how it goes if you decide to plan along with me. I will see you all in the next one.